There is nothing weirder than people from another country having plenty to say about your politics. So rather than us talk about American politics, why not get a real-life Yank to talk about politics in America here on Australian television? And Christian Ziegler is a man who is well and truly invested in the politics of his nation. He's part of the Republican Party in Florida. He was in the White House last week for a social media conference with President Trump, and he joins us now from the US. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, Paul. I appreciate you giving me some time on your show. It's fun to join you guys.
Mate, any time. And I tell you what, anyone who's got a Skype background like that, impressive. My parents don't have anything like that. Real TV studio set up. I love it. I love it. So before we talk about anything else, right now in the US, the Trump derangement syndrome has found a place to land, and the place where it is landing right now is, God forbid, that you enforce the law that when the courts say somebody is in your country illegally and should be booted out, that if you go to boot them out, there are people in not just the shadows, but in the brightest of bright lights, like Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California, who's telling people don't open the door. How did things get to the state in the United States where a country that knows the difference between right and wrong doesn't know the difference between legal and illegal immigration?
It's shocking. I wish I had an answer for you. To be honest, we have shifted so far to the left, and we've become so extreme in a lot of portions of our country. And you look at California, they just voted to give health care for illegal immigrants. They're basically saying doors open. And, you know, our country's at risk. One of our governors, she had a famous quote where a country without borders is like a house without walls. It collapses. So, you know, I know Donald Trump's out there fighting hard. The Republicans are fighting hard. But we have these Democrats, and specifically these far-left liberal Democrats that have come out of the woodwork and really pushed their policies on us. And it's dangerous. And I don't know if the entire country really realizes what's going on yet.
Is your sense, now obviously in Florida, this is one of those must-wins. We know that, you know, Bush, Gore, Obama, Trump, it's all gone in different directions, different times. Can Donald Trump repeat what the mainstream media would say was essentially a statistical fluke in 2016? Because there are plenty of polls that yes, were wrong last time around, but they're all saying that the mix of states that got him up and over the top, he can't reproduce that. Let's just talk about your particular state of Florida, though. Is this a place that's holding up for Trump?
I think so. I feel pretty good in Florida. Here we just had an election where Ron DeSantis beat Andrew Gillum in the governor's race. We had a U.S. Senate race where Rick Scott unseated Bill Nelson, who was an incumbent Democrat. So we really turned out. Now, with that said, Florida is always going to be close. Our state consistently is a close statewide election. I feel pretty good about Donald Trump. I'll tell you, in 2016, we kind of had a problem where we were fighting the Democrats, but there were also a portion of Republicans that weren't on board with the president. And since his election, he's gone out there from the Supreme Court, putting two good conservatives on the Supreme Court, to his success in the economy, record low unemployment, to what he's done with energy in our country. Across the board, he's proven everyone that he's really up to the job, and he's doing a great job. So I think in the state of Florida, the residents see that, and I think his victory is going to increase. Now, with that said, my job is to make sure that we don't win by just 1 or 2 points. I want to win by 15, 20 points. So every day I'm trying to get every portion of the state ready, excited, mobilized, energized, and activated to make sure Donald Trump wins re-election.
Well, Christian, get ready for a call at about this time, plenty of times between now and November 2020. I like talking to you. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning in his part of the world. Just last one here. Who is the maddest of the Democrats that is running against Trump? There's some absolute cuckoo crazy in that 24 that are running. Who's the one that you just say, please give us that lunatic?
You know, it's difficult to say. They're all really crazy. We had during the last debate, basically raise your hand if you want to cover illegal immigrants with taxpayer-funded health care. They all raised their hand. That's insanity here. So whoever they send us, I think is going to be dangerous for America, and we're going to be able to expose them. But what's really happening is AOC, she's driving the Democrat train right now, and they're all falling in line trying to get her blessing, trying to get her endorsement. So they're going to continually move left. You know, I think looking at someone like Elizabeth Warren, she's a complete nightmare. She's running as far left as she can to get votes. I think if she was the nominee, we would be in a very good spot because there's a stark contrast between Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren, and I think the American people will see right through it.
Good on you, Christian. Thank you, mate. We'll talk plenty of times between now and then. All the best.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Christian Ziegler joining us now from Sarasota in Florida, about 8 o'clock in the morning there. And what a joy to kick back and just chat a bit of American politics. You could tell that he just quite enjoyed the who's the craziest of them all.